Greetings from Potion 8. So, the AMA is now over, and here are the answers. My name is Panu, and I'll be answering the questions on behalf of the whole team. So, first question. Why goblins? Where did the idea came from? Okay, so there are many games with goblins in them, but they are almost always like some early game grunts that you mow down with high volume. And not many games have put goblins on the pedestal, so to say. So the idea of flipping the general power fantasy upside down was intriguing. For once you could actually play as the fantasy world underdog, the cannon fodder units, aka goblins. So we wanted to tell their story for once. Second question. How many different regions will there be in the early access version of the game? Okay, so the early access will contain 3 acts, and each act will contain multiple regions with different types of areas in them. The first act is revolving around these dingy forest/cave areas. The second act will take place in a shadier, more dangerous dark swamp area with large bogs and ruined castle garrisons. And the third act, you have already breached into the aqueducts that the humans have built, and you're starting to get closer to the human settlements. Due to the time limit, but also the abundance of playable content already in the game, we have decided to pass the formerly known Highlands to the following content update after the early access release. So the Highlands will be part of this upcoming Kingdom area, which will be the largest act yet in the game. It will contain farmlands, villages and castles, and will also be the final release cap, like content-wise. Will there be a console, macOS or a Linux version of the game? Nope, these are not planned at the moment, but we'll see about this after the actual Steam release on PC. Fourth question. What kind of different builds can you play in the game? Okay, so the game does not have like roles or classes. They are completely dependent on the gear you wear, so you can mix and match basically everything to your liking. You can play as a battle mage or a tanky archer if you wished, or you can play as spanky healer, so you can tank and spank with your friends. And I am of course referring to the Vista item in the game, which is basically a medicinal whip made out of birch tree branches, so very Finnish item. Anyway, there are no dedicated classes per se, you simply wear what you like, you get the skills from the gear, and that determines basically your class. Onwards, what's the biggest way your game differs from other co-op games? Okay, we support single player mode as well. You can finish the game fully solo if you wish. And also, like mentioned, our skills are fully dependent on the gear you wear, and that makes fun and effective synergies. Then the game completion does not require you to play for many years with your friends. You can finish the game within like maybe six evenings, and that fits busy people's schedule, so they actually can get to complete the game. And finally, we also have bosses that change on each playthrough depending on your actions in the world, and this brings some of that replay value to the game. Next question. How does the Hive system work, and how do goblins contribute to building it? Okay, so you play as a goblin worker. You gather and contribute found resources to the Hive's contribution bit, and all the Hive and player progression happens within the Hive. Each unique item you contribute raises the Hive experience, and the idea is that new items advance the Goblin's technology, which then opens up new recipes and station upgrades. So, the further you explore and bring in unique items and materials, the more new technology becomes available. We are also currently reworking the Hive Station upgrade system, so you will have to gather the materials and build the stations yourself instead of them just updating behind your back as you contribute new items and level up your Hive. Where did the idea of the die artifact came from? This of course is a wordplay when people pronounce the game's name, Goblins Die. We wanted the double meaning into the game's title, because usually goblins do die. And then there is also the literal die, in dice, that the goblins are looking for. So, long story short, the game's name came first because the goblins' world was supposed to be very dangerous, and then the actual die artifact came afterwards. Next, how large is the dev team and how do you divide roles? The studio consists of 7 developers. Each member of the team has their dedicated field of specialization, but as a smaller developer, every one of us has to wear many hats, so to speak, so everyone dabbles in a little bit of everything. For more in-depth video of the dev team, you can check out the dev team introduction video in description or somewhere maybe in the screen. Will the players be able to customize or personalize their goblins? Unfortunately, no, not at the moment, although we are thinking of different ways to make this possible. Initially, we are thinking that the personalization could be visual only and would have no effect on the actual gameplay. But you could still choose the looks of your goblins, and that would be really nice. Next one. How long the full version of the game will be? The ballpark estimate would be around 12 to 15 hours, and it fully depends on how you play the game. Will you explore every nook and cranny, or if you just want to complete the content like speedrun style. But anyway, it will be around 12 to 15 hours in our estimate. Final question. Which dev on the team is the Goblin? This would be Ville, definitely. He is our animator. He is delightfully grumpy, yet surprisingly lively when it comes to acting or demonstrating goblin animations or sounds. He is always in trouble when we play together. He's accidentally left out of boss battles and yelling comments on the side, and anyway, acting all goblin whether intently or not. But of course, there is this goblin side to all of us that comes to surface when we play together. This was the AMA this time. Wishlist the game and join our Discord if you haven't to stay updated on the game. And have a good one. Cheers. And then there is rebate value made out of birch tree branch. Fuck's sake.